Hey guys, welcome to Rain King Recording. Just going through the studio today. Wanted to show you a piece of gear we got here. This is the Creation Audio MW1 Studio Tool. And basically what this is a real fancy, high-end direct box for the guitars and a reamping device. And it's really based around reamping and being a DI for guitars, but you can use it for anything you really want. It's a pretty incredible piece of equipment, and people don't, well, things like this just don't exist, and people don't really realize how much they need something like this until you kind of use it and understand what it does. But I'm kind of gonna explain it here and go through everything for you. A DI is really important because what it's doing basically is taking an instrument level signal and bringing it down to a mic level signal, so you can put it into your preamp and then put it into Pro Tools or whatever DAW you're using. And that's a much more complicated process than people usually think. You can tell a huge difference between a low-end DI and a high-end DI, and people kind of neglect that when they're working in home studio. They just get cheap DIs, thinking that they're not really doing all that much, but it makes a huge difference in the overall tone of what you're doing when you use a really good DI. Now this is top of the line. This is about as good as you can get for a guitar DI. You know, it's probably not practical. I think they're about $600 or $700. So it's probably not practical for most people, but you really do need to consider your DI when you're recording things direct. It is really important. So I'm kind of going to go through this and just explain all the parts of it. It's based around the concept of a redeemer circuit, which it's really complicated what it does, and I honestly don't understand how it works, but essentially the way it's been explained to me is it takes all the load off your pickup, so there's no resistance on the pickup. Alright, so we'll start over here on the left-hand side. We have our instrument level input, which is just where you plug your guitar into. You have your input impedance, which you can switch between 10,000 ohms and 10 million ohms. And that's part of the redeemer circuit that I was talking about before. You know, basically takes the load off the pickup. So I don't really understand what it does, like I said, but it really sounds good. Then you have your tuner output, which is just to plug in a tuner. You've got a mute button. And then this section here would be used when you're using it as a reamping device. Now, it's got a boost output on the back, so if you wanted to have it in a patch bay or you didn't want to be plugging stuff in and out on the front, you can do that. But right now we just have it plugged into the front, and then this cable's going into the other room, going into an amplifier. But you have your clean boost, which is kind of just like a tone control. You have your output impedance, which is another example of the redeemer circuit. And then you have your actual line going into the amp. This section here is your line out, your bounced line out. It's pretty much just a preamp output that's going into Pro Tools. You know, it's real simple. It's just your gain into Pro Tools from the DI. This is your bounced line in. This is what you would use if you were going to use it as a reamping device, and you'd be coming from Pro Tools or from your DAW into it. And you know, just your attenuation there. Pretty simple. And this is your instrument level output, so after you're all said and done and you want to have an amp in the room or be listening to that, that's what you would use. So it's pretty straightforward, and a pretty incredible device. Most DIs do not have this much power and do all the cool little tricks this thing does. But if you guys want to hear it and want to come check it out, give us a call here at the studio, 615-852-7320, and check us out online at rainkingrecording.com. Thanks a lot.